Good evening, everybody. It is Monday, November 2nd, at 6 p.m. We are a little late today due to some technical problems, but we are here with Mike Fitzpatrick, Shelley Huber, Angela Sanborn, myself, Marion Dowling on the Selectboard. We have Doris Kneckel, Lister, and we have Merle Tessier, zoning administrator, and Winetta, and she's trying to fix some problems. So the first thing on the agenda is for me to ask if there are any amendments or additions to the agenda.
I would like to make the motion that we have Merle Tessier, the zoning administrator, speak after this.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And that will be before the executive session.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. And Winetta, are you clear with Jay on that?
Jay's on his way over.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do, even before minutes, is that we're going to have Merle Tessier, zoning administrator, speak about some proposed fee changes and other business related to zoning. So Merle, would you like to speak? And would you like him to face the camera? Yeah, that would be great. So Merle, maybe you could stand there.
A little bit more.
6 feet.
Okay.
I had proposed once before checking into the fees that we charge. I checked the fees in surrounding towns where they have zoning, and there's no commonality. Every town has their own way of doing it, and it's kind of a mismatch. But we haven't addressed the fees for probably 10 years in Newfane. I thought it was time that the zoning cover most of its costs rather than all the taxpayers. So I came up with this new list of proposed fees.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of examining, I found that we had a little discrepancy between the application for DRB appeals and the fee schedule. The fee schedule reads $100 for an application for a DRB hearing. The application had $15.
Oh, wow.
And that's substantial when you figure we have to advertise
Mm-hmm.
every time we have a hearing. That runs $50 to $70. But we should be catching that.
Mm-hmm.
And that up there, remote, that costs us when we do a remote hearing. Luckily, we don't have that many.
Uh-huh.
So I gave you all a copy of my proposed schedule. And the only question remaining now is, when do you want to institute it? I would recommend probably the start of the next fiscal year,
That's what I'm thinking,
so it ties in
Yeah.
with your budget.
right?
But it also, you can
Gives
kind of adjust your budget. Hopefully, we get some additional fees here.
Yeah.
So we are in the midst of working on our budgets for next year.
Yeah.
Do you have a proposal of what fee you would like to raise it to?
I could calculate roughly what it would be. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of another $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh,
So I
$2,000
figured
to $3,000 for
on top of what we get in now.
on top
be
of.
earned
Mhm.
by
Income?
changing the rates.
The income?
Yes.
So I figured that might help somewhat.
So that would be $2,000 to $3,000 more for the zoning administrator budget for the year. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Do you, does Winetta have a copy? Because this will be discussed at our budget meeting next Monday.
I can provide it.
I think we already mentioned that you were going to talk
Yeah,
about
I think I saw a copy of it. I
Yeah.
read through that.
that. Yeah,
If you don't, I can
Yeah.
print out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said 10 years it's not been raised.
Right,
So we're looking to do it for next year, or the next budget
next fiscal
fiscal year,
year.
which would be,
July 1,
July
2021.
1st.
How much is the permit now?
How much is the permit now?
well, it depends. Yeah. You look like square footage.
Sorry, so much.
Building, so it's, basically it's up 50%, it went from 20 to 30 on a building. Garage went from 10 cents a square foot to 15. And then the hearing is $100. And some of the smaller ones, the fence permits, which are now $10, become $15.
yeah, so it's increment, it's
So it's kind of
minor.
incremental across the entire.
Right, that's what I saw.
So if I like a 2,000 square foot house, it's $600.
Is there anything else that you would like to request
I
or
just-
report about?
I am working on an enforcement action. And we've been in negotiations with the property owner and the business owner.
Do we need to vote on this first before we go?
Do we have to vote? I don't think we have to vote on her proposal right now. We
No,
have
because he's
to,
gonna give it to us, look at the budget.
we're gonna,
Good at the budget.
discuss it
Oh,
at the
okay.
budget meeting. Yeah,
Okay,
okay, and you have,
An enforcement action, which.
yeah,
I've been in discussion with the property owner and also the business owner. And they were making some progress. So if they continue the progress, then I'll back off. But if I see he's just stonewalling it, I'm gonna go for a violation.
and what is the bottom line, issue? That they're not following permits?
The violation of the permit provisions
Uh-huh,
was a conditional permit. And they just, my concern here is, if they don't follow through on their end, then I have to do a violation, which will probably amount to a municipal ticket. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you people are aware of it.
okay, well, thank
You
you.
just follow your course of action as
Yeah.
the zoning administrator. That's wonderful.
Okay?
yeah,
Well, thank you, Merle, for coming here. You know, it's been a long time that I remember that you've been at a meeting, and I've been asking you to come just to explain what you do, because a lot of people don't understand it, and I mean, you're a real expert.
you were here not too long ago, though.
Huh?
You were here recently, though, within the last year, weren't you?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
but I wasn't here.
Oh,
last
I'm
year.
sorry, yes.
Oh, so you were here last, okay, so it's a new year, a new, sorry.
We'll have you back.
She was on vacation.
She was on vacation, yes.
Yeah,
We'll have you back.
yeah, thank you, Merle, for coming.
Okay,
And go home and have a safe drive home. It's very cold out, so take good care getting home tonight. And we appreciate you being here.
okay.
Thank you for everything you do.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening. Okay, so now we are going to move into executive session. And may I borrow this for a second?
Sure.
Okay, the reason for executive session that we are calling this evening is about an appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee. But the public body must make a final decision to hire or appoint in an open meeting. And it must explain the reasons for its final decision. So,
You have to state
Is that
the chapter, the VSA.
yes, it's 1 VSA, section 313A3. So that is the reason we're going to executive session, and we are asking Doris Necknell, the Lister Police, to join us on executive session. We have concluded our meeting of executive session. It is now 6:25. PM. And what we have talked about was the process of hiring a data entry person for a position in the Newfane Lister's office. And we interviewed a few people last week, all of whom were very lovely and had good resumes. However, we did come up unanimously choosing one particular person. So we are going to have Winetta write a letter to the 3 applicants tomorrow and just stating which person was selected. And the board has voted for them. And they
The
listed.
board votes now.
So,
You can't-
okay, the board, yeah.
You can't
So
vote.
is there a motion?
I make a motion.
And what's the motion?
I make a motion to accept the person we discussed. I don't know if we're announcing.
No, we're gonna not announce them. then.
So I make a motion that we hire the person that we had discussed.
Okay. And we will, you second that? Any further discussion? Okay, as soon as those people have been notified, we will announce it at our next meeting on November 16th, who the person is. However, that person will probably start working very soon after hearing that that person has been accepted or wanted to be hired, okay? So thank you very much for that.
your extra help.
And thank you, Doris, for coming. I know it's
And thank
been
you for all your hard work.
really,
Oh, you're welcome.
and then I'm sorry for the delay, but at least we have, we had lovely
Yes.
people come and we have a good candidate who's been nominated.
I will be at the next budget meeting. to
Oh,
ex-
great,
To explain the budget that I gave you to review.
yes,
Okay?
that will be
Excellent.
great.
In case you
That's
have-
Monday at 6 p.m.
In case you have any questions.
We look
Not
forward to seeing you.
I just love coming here, right?
We love having you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And by the way, Frank Saponsky was one of the people at the meeting last week.
Gotta be good if you got all 4 of your degree all in one thing.
I know,
And it didn't take long.
no,
Yeah, there you go.
okay,
Long enough.
so,
Jay, you can have my, it's nice and warm.
okay, Doris,
Thank you
drive
so much,
carefully
Doris.
and
Thank
have a good evening and thanks
Stay
a lot for coming. Okay, we are now up to approval of minutes.
See you later.
Is there a motion to approve the,
You're not.
is there approval
Tough.
of the October 19th minutes?
I make a
regular
motion
minutes?
to accept the October 19th minutes.
I'll second it.
Any questions or comments about them? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. So the minutes are approved. The next meeting that we had was October 26th. That was our budget meeting. And is there somebody who can make a motion to accept the minutes from that?
I will.
Okay.
I'll
In a
second it.
Okay. Any conversation, discussion? No. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Say nay.
I'll abstain because I was absent.
All right. Okay, thank you. So we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 approved. So thank you. Road foreman and road commissioners report. Unfortunately, Chris Williams is not able to join us tonight, and Jay will give the report.
So V-Trans has sent us an additional $37,000 highway aid, as a one-time payment for us to use on class 2 or 3 roads. Sawmill Road has been needing repairs at the entrance, for quite a while. And there may still be time to do it this fall. The only paving company interested at this time was DMI from Brattleboro, and the price was $97.50. Is that something you want to try to pull off this fall, or
Where's the Sawmill Road?
Up by Mercedes Pass.
Yeah.
Blueberry Circle.
just off River Road?
Is that in the budget?
We've got $130,000 paving money, so this would come out of that.
Yeah,
Why
I'd get it done
not?
this
Just
year.
do it.
I mean, if the weather turns in a week, it may not happen until spring, but if we
Uh-huh.
can do it, then we'll try to get it done. Depot Road culvert is still waiting some easements. Wyndham Regional will be putting out the speed counters tomorrow for the highway safety audit, for Newfane Village.
Okay.
Sand salt shed, the town attorney is working on that. And V-Trans is putting out the bid for the Arch Bridge this week. And I've ordered a stencil to mark our cones and signs. We've had the terrible time of people taking signs in the last year or so. So we're gonna start marking everything. And,
What kind of signs are you talking about?
like road work ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Safety kind
Safety
of
signs, okay.
And the last one they took was, between the sign, the metal post, it was about $225. And it just vanished.
A sign in a middle post?
Well, it's the fold out ones that we use
Oh,
when
yeah,
working.
yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm,
So it's getting annoying.
mm-hmm.
And then I got a call today that we lost a street sign, or double street sign up on Aviel and Baker Brook was stolen by some kids on four-wheeler and dirt bike.
Oh,
And they saw them driving off with it, so.
oh.
And just,
Maybe we should make an announcement.
Have you reported that?
no, not yet.
You probably should report
I
that.
think,
That's
yeah.
vandalism.
Maybe we
So-
should make an announcement too on the website, you know.
What are they doing on Bolton signs?
They took the post and all.
Oh, close enough.
It's just annoying. It's, you know, it's not huge expense, but it's
It
ridiculous.
is an
Well, it's
expense,
vandalism, so,
definitely. Yeah,
I mean, that should be reported.
And the only other thing I had that I forgot to put on here is the landfill has been mowed, so that's all set for another year.
Great job.
I have a question about the landfill. Is there any restrictions to that landfill? Does anyone know about if you, say, wanted to put a dog park on it in a corner
I
or
knew there was
something?
restrictions, but I don't know, things like that might be okay, I don't know. I don't know, there's in the closure agreement, it tells you kind of what you can do,
Yeah,
so.
I guess maybe Winetta could look at that and see if there, because there's monies available for brownfields. Is that considered a brownfield?
Yeah,
I would think so.
I don't know.
What is the brownfield?
Brownfield is like when something's been,
Like an old gravel bank or, I think that kind of fits into it too, I think.
you know, yeah, like
Old junkyard.
junkyard, it's been compromised, the ground has been
Oh, I
compromised.
see.
So that would be, it's on the old dump site, which is off on Browns Road.
Mhm.
And,
About half of it's got solar on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, the half
So
of
you
it has
still
solar
got the
panels.
other
Yeah.
half.
but there's still more space there, right? So.
Yeah, but I think they rented out that whole space, didn't they? The solar
It's
company?
possible, I don't know.
Yeah.
And how much do we wanna do open to people with the solar panels on the property as well?
Well, I'm not saying within that solar panel part, but
Right.
if there's either that or there's another pocket park or something.
There's more land out and back anyways. It
Um,
still goes up further, that
I
land.
mean, there's the space over there
Cause Jay
on,
was actually wondering about that one time, about getting in there to, go store.
there's the space over there on, past the, covered bridge. What's the road out there?
Dover Road.
Dover Road.
There's
That park area there.
Oh, along the water?
One of the
Yeah.
One of the flooded things.
And it's really like the thing now is like, you know, having, you know, Brattleboro has one and,
I know the
Yeah.
planning commission was looking at that at one point to figure out what to do with spots like that.
yeah.
So maybe reach out to them and see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One of the ideas I heard one time over there in South Newfane, that one there is like a community garden.
Mhm.
It is?
That was one of the thoughts. they
Oh, one
thought.
of the thoughts,
There
yeah,
is
yeah.
one little spot, yeah, that I did see that
I mean, a
had.
lot of people too, they don't have a place to put a garden.
Mhm.
Mhm,
It would be a good idea probably, you know.
Yeah.
mhm.
Real good grower and weed it. But they got extra time.
I thought you said grow
So
weed
do
in
you
it.
need
I
us to
said,
vote
yeah,
on the
we can do that
motion
too.
tonight, or just,
Sure.
On number 2, the road foreman's report, I will make a motion that if it's weather permittable, that DMI do the paving that's needed.
Okay, and I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any other conversation about that?
We just had one other spot we was thinking about looking at too, right?
I have a feeling though it's gonna, they'd be lucky to get that one done, so I just didn't wanna push it too much.
They usually pay right to Thanksgiving, but you never know, depends on the weather.
Well, according to the weather today, it's supposed to change to sunny and warmer
Yeah.
midweek,
60
so
degrees.
there we go.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, all those in favor of approving that, please say aye.
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 Okay, so that's unanimous and it passes. And thanks, Jay, very much.
Anything, I'm sorry, one more thing. Anything more on that topsoil or anything that you're selling?
And I've got one person, possibly a second one, that's interested in, I don't know if we're gonna get rid of all of it that way, but I'm waiting for a couple other people to call back, see if they're willing to take some. So hopefully,
Is that something we could put on like front porch or anything?
well, we don't wanna have somebody just come over and want one truckload.
Yeah, pick up load.
Oh, they
or something.
want, you want the
Wanna
whole
get
thing
somebody to
taken?
go in and do
Okay,
the truck and
okay.
truck a bunch of
Just
it.
wondering how we can make sure people understand it's there.
Yeah. Okay,
May I make a motion to accept the road foreman's report?
Second.
okay. All those in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous and the report is accepted. Thank you very much, Jay. Just another question. I had asked Jay to take me to Penner Road because that's also on the agenda tonight, but
right.
we're really not ready to move forward. I wanted to see it last week, but the weather and then today was not good. So is there anybody who wants to come with me who hasn't seen it?
I would like to, but it depends on the time of day.
Yeah, well, I would do it while Jay's working.
Right.
Or we can do it later, it doesn't matter. I can do it.
And it's getting darker earlier.
Yeah.
It'll be darker, I guess.
Well, I tell you what, if there's any way of speeding up that process, that's one of the roads that really should be thrown up. When you get up in there, it's just the width of a car.
Mm,
And they gotta try to squeeze in there with trucks.
mm.
This road is just a driveway.
Penner Driver.
Yeah.
Penner
To the
Road.
last end of it. I mean, the other is good. There's all the way down to where they can put the turnarounds, a good road. But that little bit up there and, you know, and he's got a house here and a barn here and I could see the guy who'd not want people driving right in his dooryard all the time.
Yeah.
But it's a
And-
pain right in the ass for the town guys to maintain it.
It sounds like it's obvious. So I don't know if we need to go there to see it.
It doesn't sound like it.
Well,
Sounds
I
like we
actually, I mean, I've been
Actually, I
there.
could do a video with my phone and email it to you guys.
That would be great. I mean,
Perfect.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll just drive up from where we would put the turnaround up through so you can get an idea what it looks like.
Yeah.
that sounds
Oh,
good.
okay, great. So, then we can, have that on the next agenda?
They got 2 or 3 spots like that in town, not to, but, I mean, they're really
Because-
pains.
Doris was saying we're going to have to start moving with filling out forms and then ultimately having a public meeting, is that
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it all, it was like, I couldn't believe it's so complicated,
Oh, to name it.
you know, that
Make it
packet
into
we
a
got.
private,
Yeah.
make it into a private road.
Well, I can see if there's another landowner that's out beyond it, that would kind of landlock somebody or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not in favor of throwing up roads and things like that, but I mean, this is just a driveway to the guy's house and there's nothing else behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another road that accesses us up higher, right?
Yeah.
For the other property. This just is just a narrow little road,
Yeah,
And if they happen to be out with a couple of cars and it's starting to storm,
right?
it's difficult.
Yeah, it's like I said, if the guy's willing to do it, we ought to be doing it, looking at putting the turnaround in and let him maintain it, even if he did it this year.
So we would have to put a turnaround.
He's
He's gonna
willing to
do it.
put the turnaround in.
Oh, he's willing to do it. Yeah, I remember having that conversation.
Right.
Okay.
So if we can,
Let's move
put it
along.
on next month,
So we're
next
gonna
select
table it
board
till the
meeting
16th?
on the
Yes.
16th. And Jay, you'll, get the information, that would be great. Thank you so much. So your, report is approved.
Good.
Thank you again for all the work you do with your guys. And,
Is there anything else coming up that's road related?
not that I know of.
Okay, I'll go back home.
Okay, yeah, you drive safely now.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay, bye, thanks a lot. Okay, administrative assistance report. Juanetta, please.
There's been a number of complications getting the monitor hooked up with the proper settings. We've had several people assisting me in testing. Tonight's a trial run, so I hope that you'll bear with me. Obviously, we're having still a few connections. Melissa and I have been working together in putting the proposed figures for the budget in the NEMRIC program, so anything that we've worked on so far in budget is already being uploaded.
Okay,
The town clerk received a grant for $5,000 from the Center for Tech and Civic Life, and this is to assist with needed material for this upcoming election.
oh, wow,
There was 2 laptops ordered, a display figure to help let people know where voting is, and
uh-huh,
that's got a multi-purpose, but
wow,
there's been, sign upgrades, the broken signs that we have with the letters. Those are being upgraded.
you mean the signs that are out in front?
The sandwich board.
Okay,
Yeah, so all of those are being replaced with her grant money because
Oh,
it's
good.
election related.
Yeah,
can I make a suggestion? Those signs to be used for Green Up Day?
Yeah, we're not gonna probably get rid of them. We
Okay.
can certainly put them piece by piece, whatever fits,
Yeah,
because one's broken and the
Oh,
other one
okay.
doesn't have a great stand and there's slats that are missing, so.
uh-huh.
But we can.
The Green Up Day, if we have one in the springtime, we don't have signs for it.
Okay.
mhm.
And then today I completed the insurance renewal for the town, which is all the properties, all the vehicles, and waiting to have that come back. So it was the policy renewal.
Renewal for insurances, right?
Yeah.
For buildings?
For buildings, vehicles,
Oh,
all town-owned properties,
Where's that come from?
VLCT. We've still had a number of complaints on dogs, so that position is still available. I've done Blueberry Circle and we've still had inquiries for the one out on Dover Road, but she came in and registered her dogs. But as of yet, I haven't had any complaints about the dogs running wild.
okay. The one that's out on Dover Road?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay,
so, I mean, if somebody sees them, of course, they can still be picked up, but as long as she's maintaining behavior and they're on her property, I don't think the town, under the policy, can do anything until there's,
some sort of a bad action or something, right? So I was mentioning to Marianne about the barking dogs, that if it becomes a nuisance, which it has been.
well, last week when the gentleman came back from Harris Hill, I actually took a road trip and I went out and saw the area. And I saw the dogs, and then I drove around the circle and parked on the diagonal so they couldn't see me. And I listened for about a half hour, 45 minutes. I only heard the dogs bark for 2 minutes.
Uh-huh,
So it's not a 15-minute nuisance where they're constantly barking
yeah, and in that instance,
in that instance, right?
yeah,
And she tried to come today, but the town clerk had ballots being tabulated.
Mhm.
She came today to try to register her dogs, but she's gonna come back Wednesday.
okay,
Good.
So I did send her a notice, a letter letting her know there was a problem.
Well, there's another idea too, that if they become such a nuisance, that there are dog barker collars that will shock them.
Yeah.
So if it becomes to the point where it is really a nuisance, it might be something that we would consider that they would have to do to
Some sort of remedial action.
right, to train their dog or to keep their dog quiet, whatever.
Right.
Um,
I think those would be owner ideas in order to control their behavior, but
right.
I don't know at this point that that's part of our policy.
Yeah.
You know, it could be
Yeah.
a recommendation,
Right.
kind of,
Right.
these things are available.
Right. And there might be some grants or funding available through, the Wyndham Humane Society or something, for training. That would be my recommendation for somebody to lead them down the right path.
Yeah.
To figure out if they want to keep these dogs or animals, this is what you
There's
need.
resources available.
Right. This is what you need to do,
Yeah.
and show that you're making an effort.
Yeah.
So
Other than that, it's been busy.
busy day today trying to get this all together, huh?
Yeah, well, he was supposed to come Friday to help me set it up. And the appointment that he had scheduled before me
Who's
was
he?
late. Daniel from Putney Computers.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that was here before.
Uh-huh.
So he came today and we rushed around and we still have some issues with the wireless, so we're replacing some of the things, so that's why tonight is
Yeah, it's all
kind of a
right.
test run.
It's a test run.
Well, with BCTV's help, I'm getting my geek award.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot.
So, it's a work in progress.
Okay.
But that's my report.
I just want to ask, since we're talking about that, my personal opinion is that monitor could be lowered, and I don't know how everybody else feels about it.
I think it could be a smidge
Right.
down, but I agree a little bit lower, but if it's not possible. It depends on where the studs are in the wall.
Yeah, because we put braces back there in order to mount it.
Yeah.
I can pivot it, but I can't.
It looks like it could come down a little bit more, but the actual mounting would have to be moved down.
Well, they'd have to move the mountain down.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that I think it's,
It should be more level to like where we are.
yeah, that's what I think too.
Do you
Like
want me
if
to
it went
talk to
down-
Bob about having him come back and relocating the braces?
Yeah,
Down to the top of the chalkboard,
yeah,
do you think?
that's where I think.
Yeah.
And the clock can
Yes.
go over.
Yeah, I think that would be, first of all, easier to see, and we're not bending our necks back looking up.
Yeah.
And particularly since we want it not just for us, but for other groups to use,
Yeah.
I would like it to be more user-friendly where it's comfortable to look at it rather, I'm looking up all the time when I'm looking at it. And if we lowered it right at that little crossbeam above the green board, I think
Okay.
that would be the perfect
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
So I'll talk to Bob Litchfield about him and
So,
Billy Morse.
Billy Morse coming back and relocating it lower.
Yeah, they could do that. Okay, thank you.
They're
Thank you for
talented
your
gentlemen,
report.
they can do anything.
They can, thank you for your report, Winetta.
I make a motion to accept the administrative assistant's report.
I'll second it.
Okay, any conversation or addition? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the report, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's unanimous, and we move on to scheduled members of the public, and these are people who are joining us this evening through Zoom with appropriation requests. And Winetta, would you like to go down the line since you're over there? And just
We
choose-
have Andrea Seaton, who is on the Grace Cottage Hospital.
Yeah,
Andrea, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hi,
Oh,
Andrea.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Good to see you all.
Good to
Thank you
see
for your
you.
patience.
My pleasure. Juanetta, Steve Ovenden asked if you could send him the link again. He's going to try again to get on.
Okay, doing that right now.
Thank you.
So is this working pretty good where they can hear us and all that too?
I can hear you.
Can you?
can you see us?
Yes, I can see you.
Oh,
You're
okay.
all looking away from me. I'm looking from the other end of the table. So
Oh, we have to look this way to
Yeah,
see you.
This is, see,
Yeah,
that's the whole
camera's right
thing.
there.
It's a little,
We're- It's our first time,
yeah, we're a little confused tonight.
so.
I've never given a presentation where everybody's looking away, but that's okay. Don't take it personally.
So she's actually seeing that picture over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
We'll try to look this way then.
That's all right. Whatever's comfortable for you, I'm fine.
Okay, would you like to share with us about what's new with Grace Cottage and how you've been working there? And I know everybody's so busy and
Sure,
what-
I'd love to, Mary. No, things have been going really well in terms of keeping COVID at bay. We've done almost 1,500 drive-up tests since the beginning of the pandemic, and we've only had 17 positives.
that's
And most
amazing.
of those, almost all of them except one, have gone home to recuperate. None of them have been admitted to Grace Cottage Hospital. We test every inpatient when they come in, and we treat them as if they do have COVID. We put them in what we call our hot wing, and then when the test comes back, and usually the tests now are coming back for us in about 24 hours, then we can move them to the regular wing of the hospital. We've had a lot of pent-up demand. We were essentially closed in March and April. We were open, but people were instructed to stay home, and people really paid attention to that and did stay home, which we were happy about, but it wasn't good for revenues, obviously. And so the community, including many people from Newfane, were very, very generous in stepping up to the plate to help us bridge the gap until the government stepped in with the payroll protection program, which we were eligible for, and the CARES Act for hospitals. So now we're just waiting for the second surge, which we anticipate will be coming this winter. And we're making sure that we're monitoring our personal protection equipment supplies, and we're in good shape there. We just ordered a freezer that goes to 70 below so that we can store certain vaccines for COVID if they happen to come in. And then we've also worked on developing a new drive-up testing room and portico so that we can keep our staff warm during the winter as they're doing COVID testing. We're going to put the booth behind or the room behind the Heinz building. So we're staying right on top of things. We have an incident command team, and we're constantly keeping one another apprised and working with the Vermont Department of Health to keep our community as safe as possible. Our employees have been phenomenal. We were one of the only hospitals, perhaps the only, but I don't want to say that because I'm not positive, that did not lay off or furlough any employees. And that really went a long way for employee satisfaction, because we realized that we're the primary employer. We're the largest employer in the West River Valley with 200 employees, and a lot of times spouses were laid off from their jobs, and our employees were the sole breadwinner in the community. So we wanted to keep everyone employed, and thanks to the Payroll Protection Act, we were the only hospital in Vermont that did receive that, because we're the only hospital that has fewer than 500 employees. So we were eligible for the payroll protection program. So we've really come together. I mean, Grace Cottage has always been a family affair, but COVID has really brought us together, and our employee satisfaction scores actually went up 2 points. They were high to begin with, but they've gone up even higher because of all the employee appreciation activities that we've done. And we had t-shirts made up, which some of you may have seen, that say Grace Cottage on the front and "We Are Essential" on the back, and they were given to all employees at our employee appreciation barbecue. And our main thing is to make sure that we're open and ready and safe to treat all patients at all times. Our ER has been operating throughout all of this, obviously 24/7. We've had more patient visits this year than ever before. We're at 25,000 outpatient visits, and that shocked us when our fiscal year results came in at the end of September. But it was because a lot of we were doing a lot of telehealth visits with Zoom and FaceTime and so on. So we were able to be very efficient in terms of seeing a lot of patients on video. And now we're back to seeing patients in person, and rehab visits are in person. We have had to cancel all of our wellness activities and our volunteer program for the duration, and we don't know what the duration will be, but it breaks our hearts because it takes the heart and soul out of us, and we're not able to have strong bones or yoga or grace readers. So I'll stop jabbering away and answer any questions that you may have.
Oh, it sounds good. I mean,
Well, you know, I think that I can speak for many of us.
look that way.
I can speak for many of us, and Andrea, just saying how we all feel so lucky to have Grace Cottage so close by, and how your employees, the doctors and nurses, everybody, no matter what job they're holding, are always so welcoming and so professional and very gentle and kind at the same time. So we thank you so much for all the work you do and for all the employees there too.
Thank you, Marion. Well, I always say my job is very easy because we have 200 fundraisers at Grace Cottage. Every single employee and every single encounter with every patient is fundraising, and it makes it very easy. And it also made it possible for us to win the Best of Brattleboro, Best Hospital, Best ER, Best Physical Therapy, Best Pediatrician, Best Doctor, Best Place to Work, and Best Pharmacy. We won 7 awards.
Wow.
That was for Brattleboro.
Wow.
So we're very, very proud. And you may or may not have heard that Dr. Moss Linder was awarded the Vermont Family Practice Physician of the Year by the Vermont Family Practice Physician Association. It's a huge honor. Dr. Backus won it many years ago. Dr. Linder is being presented with the award this coming Saturday night via Zoom.
Oh,
Really?
That's wonderful.
Award. I would like to know, how do we get to know how to join the Zoom if we want to participate?
That's a good question. I don't know if that Zoom is open to the public, but I will find out. It's the Vermont Family Practice Physicians Annual Meeting. So I'm not sure if it is, Mary, but if it is, either way, I'll find out and email you tomorrow.
He's my doctor. I'm very proud of him. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
no, they have an awesome emergency doctor too. I had to go, and I had an emergency gallbladder attack and passed out and broke my teeth on my front. I passed out and hit the stove, and I went to the dentist, and they were just couldn't believe that your emergency doctor was so proficient. So they're always excellent there. Saved.
Do you know who that was, Shelley?
It was I want to say Jay or
Jim.
Greg Raines.
maybe Greg. It was a gentleman. Yeah. And he was able to pull my teeth back out, and I've saved my teeth. So, and I told him how wonderful he did, you know, what he did, and I was just very thankful. But awesome place.
I was born at Grace Cottage Hospital.
I sewed my tongue back on when I was
I'm gonna
6 years old.
Oh my
delivered
gosh.
by Dr. Otis.
I ripped my tongue off.
Wow.
Old Doc Otis and
So the reason that we
Eunice sewed it back
appreciate, you all seem to have frozen.
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. The reason that we appreciate the appropriation from Newfane that we receive every year, and I looked back, our first appropriation was in 1990, and then our most recent is this year, $3,500. It was upped, we made a request in 2014 to go from $2,500 to $3,500 a year. We asked 11 different towns for an appropriation, and they range in amount from the town of Stratton, 7,000, to Brookline at 300, and Dummerston at 350 or so. And we do that because the financial model for hospitals, especially small, rural, independent hospitals, is completely broken. And our reimbursements for Medicaid, especially, and Medicare patients are really inadequate. For Medicaid patients, we receive about anywhere from 38 to 50 cents on the dollar of cost, and for Medicare patients, it's around 88 or 90 cents per dollar of cost. And the way the formula is designed by the federal government, commercial insurance is supposed to make up that difference. The problem in our area is that we don't have many commercial insurance patients because we don't have many big businesses. So most people are insured through Medicare or Medicaid. And we don't really see, with the influx of second homeowners and people moving to the area who may be telecommuting due to COVID, we may see an upsurge in private pay, which would be very good for Grace Cottage. But for up till now, the model has been completely broken. So we lose money every year. We make that up through donations. And so that's why we rely on places and people like the town of Newfane.
Thank you.
Well, I make a motion that we award the appropriation for $3,500 to Grace Cottage
I'll
Family
second that.
Health and Hospital.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank
Andrea.
you very, very much, all of you and all the taxpayers of Newfane.
And thank you for,
I wanted to find out today how many patients we have from the town of Newfane, because that data is easy to get. The last I knew was when we did our community health needs assessment, and the number was over 1,000 people in Newfane use us. I wasn't able to get it today because we are really being bombarded from all sides. We're watching very vigilantly for the hackers that got into University of Vermont Medical Center's electronic medical records. And today our IT department sent around an invoice that an employee had received that was clearly an attempt to get into our system.
Oh, wow.
It was clear to those of us who deal with invoices every day that it was a fake, but only because it came from an accounts payable department, and mostly they come from accounts receivables departments. So fortunately the employee was very vigilant, but because we have 200 employees, the chances of one employee clicking on an attachment that then opens up our system, which is exactly what's happened to many hospitals around the country, it's very frightening. So our IT department was on that today, and I didn't want to distract them, and it's probably going to be a little while before we can go back to business as usual, if we ever can. I think we're going to always have to be hyper vigilant about ransomware attacks, which would put us out of business. We can't pay ransom for getting our electronic medical records back. But University of Vermont Medical Center has canceled a lot of their procedures, and they started, this happened on Wednesday afternoon, and they still are not back up and running. They're on paper still, and it's quite frightening.
Wow. So it's happening here in Vermont.
yeah.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I can imagine how busy you are and everybody there, and we thank you.
We're never bored.
Yeah.
I just have to say, when you say that you have a number of 1,000 people from Newfane going up to Grace Cottage, I think each one of us, which are each one of the 1,000 people, always are talking about their best doctor. Like everybody just, is very proud of the person who they see, and they feel so well taken care of. And Andrea, you do a great job just overseeing everything, and we thank all of you so much for making us feel safe and healthy.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're in an enviable position where our doctors recruit other doctors. So we never have to, we haven't had to recently hire a headhunting firm when we need to replace a physician, like when Dr. Gertz went out to San Jose. Our doctors are so happy there that they're happy to recruit their colleagues, and with all of these people wanting to move up from the cities, we're getting contacted quite often about doctors who want to work with us.
That's great.
And you have a great pharmacy too.
Yes, we do. Messenger Valley is phenomenal. We've been hearing that some of the chain pharmacies have not been doing such a great job with taking care of their customers, and so we're telling everyone to just come to Messenger Valley Pharmacy, where everyone knows your name after you've been there once.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has more than just drugs there. It has supplies and gifts and everything. It's a great place.
And very
Yeah.
welcoming. What is that, baby? Look,
What is there? What?
somebody's babies are in the picture. Anyway, thank you, Andrea, for speaking tonight and coming here via Zoom.
You got to look that way to talk to her.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're here.
Nice to see your face.
Little confusing.
Thank you all again for your appropriation from the town of Newfane. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you. Have a good night.
Right.
Okay, that was great.
Well, actually,
Steve?
that worked pretty good because you could volume, we could hear it.
Yeah.
And they could hear us talking about yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it worked kind of fairly good.
And we have masks on even.
Our
Okay.
next appropriation is Steve Ovenden. Steve, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, and Steve's from Green Mountain RSVP.
Okay.
Hi, welcome.
Got to look that way.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to see you all.
Thank you. We're still in the process of tweaking our Zoom virtual meeting, so you'll have to bear with us.
You know, I recommend just putting that camera over here somewhere.
Wait, we have a guest here.
Well, that way we're looking, we can see him too.
Yeah, but we just have to look this way so that.
Yeah. So, Steve, would you like to explain to us what your organization is about and what you do and how Newfane is served?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Green Mountain RSVP is a program with the Council on Aging, and we help people over the age of 55 find volunteer work with nonprofits, schools, hospitals, blood drives. We do the tax aid program. And we have about 150 volunteers in Windham County right now. I'm the volunteer coordinator for Windham County. And we are concentrating for the last 5 years now, we are concentrating on companionship programs, food security programs, and transportation. And so that covers like Meals on Wheels, food pantries, visiting seniors at home, giving seniors rides to medical appointments, and just doing social trips with them. We have recently partnered with Grace Cottage to provide drivers to them for some of their patients that can't get to their appointments.
Yeah.
We're also doing some visiting with some of the people that the SASH nurse at Valley Cares is managing some people who are off-site, and we're sending people out like handyman type helper people and just doing some social visits. So that's kind of us in a nutshell.
We don't have a seat on here.
Like most of these other nonprofits, we survive on a little bit of federal grants, some state grants, and local town donation and a little bit of fundraising. So we're here tonight to humbly request $400.
Thank you for explaining all of that. I really wasn't that clear about your organization, and it sounds like you do a great deal of wonderful service to the aged people.
Yeah, and then, what, do you know what the how many people you've been able to help in the town of Newfane?
I'm not real sure. What we do is we provide the volunteers to the nonprofits and then they manage our volunteer. We collect a little bit of data as far as the number of hours that the volunteer spends, but because of HIPAA regulation, we're not usually provided with a lot of information about the actual client that was served. But I do know that the person in Newfane, I'm sure you're well aware of Bill Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
He's an RSV volunteer, and he's done a lot of bit of driving for us. And he's helped a couple people I know who live right on Route 30 in Newfane.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
great.
think one lady had to go to Springfield, Mass one time. And then there was a couple from, there's a couple different people in Newfane that are on the Meals on Wheels route that our drivers serve.
Right.
I think 6 or 8 people in Newfane on that route. It's a mix of Newfane and Townsend.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's somewhere between 6 and 10 people probably from year to year.
How do people contact you if they need help?
Well, we advertise and we have flyers up and we do a newsletter and we have a website, Facebook page, all that. People will call our office looking for direct services, but the way I like to describe RSVP is we're like a recruiting and placement agency for volunteers, and then we place them with a nonprofit, and then we don't actually provide the service, we just provide volunteers.
Okay, you handle volunteers.
Yeah, we're like a recruiting and placement service.
Yep.
Once I hand a volunteer off to a nonprofit, they are managed by that organization.
Oh, okay.
I'm always there as a support person if they want to do other things, and we also provide some social activities to get people together. We do an annual recognition event, appreciation event for our volunteers. We have a newsletter, so we try to create a sense of community for our volunteers, but our volunteers, in terms of their day-to-day or week-to-week volunteering, they're in direct communication with the nonprofit, not us.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I'll make a motion to go with it.
you make a motion
To go with it.
to go with it. Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. And just by the chance, do you have your phone number if somebody wanted to volunteer?
Oh, yes. Would you like it?
Yes. Just
Yeah. I'm in Brattleboro at 254-7515.
And again, your name is?
Steve.
Excuse me?
Steve.
Your name?
My name is Steve Ovenden.
Oventon.
Last name-
Okay. Green Mountain RSVP.
Yeah, I think all my contact info is at the bottom of our town report page.
Okay.
Juanetta, did you get our submittal?
I did not.
Okay, it probably came today, if not Saturday.
It might have gone to the SV cable instead of the T Newfane, which we're still converting.
Okay,
So if I contact you tomorrow, maybe you could send it to me again on the new, email.
And
yeah.
that email
I
is
tried
what?
that email tonight, I think it was working.
Okay,
I'll try sending it to you tonight as soon as I'm done here.
thank you.
Okay,
Okay, well, thank you, Steve, for coming and representing your organization and telling us what you do. And so we are able to fulfill your request of the $400.
okay, I really appreciate that, it all really adds up to help us, and, if anybody has any questions, feel free to call me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks.
Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Good to
Have a
meet
good
you.
night.
You too.
Okay, the next
Okay, what's the
person
next
is
one?
Jessica.
Visiting nurse.
Yeah, Jessica is from Visiting Nurses Association, Hospice, and Vermont, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, there she
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Can you see the Newfane Selectboard?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'm with the Visiting Nurse and Hospice. We provide hospice services, home health services, long-term care, maternal child health to members of our community. We are requesting $4,500 from Newfane for this year. So from between July 1st and 2019 and June 30th, 2020, VNH made 608 home care visits to 41 Newfane residents. And this included about $26,937 in unreimbursed care or charity care. And after doing the math, the request of $4,500 is about 16% of that charity care. And the services that we provide help to reduce costs associated with town programs for emergency response and elder care. And the quality care that we provide at home, there's less need for costly hospital and emergency room trips. And we help to support residents age in place rather than relocating to a state or local nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, is there anything else that you would like to know?
No, you have it all broken down. How you've been able to help our residents here in Newfane. So, has it been difficult during the pandemic?
Yeah, the pandemic, we were luckily able to continue providing care throughout the pandemic. Even though it was definitely hard, we had to transition to more telehealth services. And whenever we could do that through video or phone calls, that's what we would try to do. And we also became more equipped with more PPE, like masks, gloves, gowns, face shields to help reduce the risk of infection between patients and nurses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we had to make a lot of adjustments and we're still kind of transitioning with that, but it's still been successful and we've still been able to operate under the pandemic.
And if somebody needed your services, what would they do? How would they get to you?
They could call us to request services or you can send an email through our website.
Okay. So it's not a request through a doctor or something. They can personally do that.
They can get referrals from doctors as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, I make a recommendation that we provide the appropriation to the Visiting Nurse and Hospice for Vermont, New Hampshire from the town of Newfane in the amount of $4,500.
Second.
Okay. So, all
All
those,
those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, that's unanimous, and thank you very much for your presentation.
And it's
Thank
Jessica.
you.
It's Jessica, right? Yep, thank you,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay. Now we're Joan Weir.
Joan was not able to log on, and that ends our appropriation.
Wait, to Kelly Brown.
No, she didn't log on.
Oh, because I got a letter from her.
They didn't get into the,
Oh, they're not on
into the
the,
Zoom.
Yeah,
Oh,
on the Zoom,
okay.
Continue
yeah.
them to the next one, maybe?
So we'll roll it over.
okay,
If you could contact them and,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. So, those were all very good
Yeah,
who's on the
presentations
screen?
and learning a lot from the services they provide.
yeah,
It's on the screen. Is that
That was one of our, he's just observing.
oh, okay.
oh,
Wonderful.
So are people watching this like you're from home right now on this too?
Yes.
Yes. The name on the monitor now is just observing. He was, one of the applicants for the
Yes.
processing.
Yes,
But anybody can just turn into the meeting and watch it.
They can link in, I can mute them, and they can hear you and see you, but we don't see them.
right, oh, okay.
That's why
I mean, like I said, so far, I thought it come in pretty clear.
Our virtual members of the public.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I thought it come in pretty clear
Yeah.
tonight too. The only thing, like I said, what I would recommend is see if we could put that,
On that side.
so when we're looking,
Right.
at least we're looking towards the camera too.
Yes,
That
yes,
That would be
definitely.
very awesome.
Well, this is going to be wireless,
Yeah,
and the plan was to actually have it monitored, mounted on the monitor.
Right.
yes,
You'd be looking, and they would be looking in the same direction. But my technical geek skills ran into some trouble.
okay. So you
And-
have it wired to your computer, that's why we're having it over here,
Yes,
so,
But it does, like I said, it's coming in good and clear.
yeah,
I mean, we're not having to yell or nothing like that.
exactly,
yeah. It'll work out,
yes,
You probably
Well,
see a lot
thank-
more people go to something like this.
yeah.
yeah. Where are we?
Unscheduled. members.
Unscheduled members, we don't have any. So we have old business, Penner Road.
Discuss.
I think we're going to deal with that on November 16th.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. And data entry position, we already dealt with that with the executive session and reporting. So, and Merle Tessier
And,
spoke at the beginning of the meeting.
Mm-hmm,
So we're up to correspondence.
mm-hmm.
And I think before we go to correspondence, well, I guess we could call this by from Carol for the
Yeah, do you want me to read?
correspondence. Excuse me, what?
Do you want me to read anything?
Would
for
you like to read it?
I would love to read.
Go ahead.
This is Newfane in-person voting from Carol Hasselbeck, Town Clerk of Newfane. Election. The election is getting closer, and a number of you have told me that you plan to vote in person. That is great, and we will be at the Newbrook Fire Station, and the polls will be open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can make the process simpler for yourself if you fill out your ballot at home, give your name to the poll worker at the entrance checklist, and show them you have your ballot. Then go to the exit checklist, give them your name, and put your ballot in the tabulator. You can shorten your time in the building even more by putting your ballot in the certificate envelope you received, signing that, and leaving that envelope with the poll workers at the entrance checklist. They'll give it to me, and it will be processed with the early ballots that arrived after 3 p.m. on Monday. If you don't have your ballot or forget it, you will have to sign an affidavit that you have not voted in this election before you are handed a ballot. This is a requirement established by the Secretary of State, which I am not allowed to waive. There is still time to bring your absentee ballot in the signed certificate envelope to the town office. You can put it through the mail slot next to the front door Friday through Monday. I will be in the office Monday morning, and you can knock on the door and hand it to me if you prefer. Monday afternoon, there will be others here, and you can give your ballots to them. On Tuesday, please bring your ballot to the fire station.
So today is
Monday.
Monday.
So everyone, go to the fire station with your ballots tomorrow, Tuesday, November 3rd,
9
Most-
a.m.
9 to 7.
Yeah, please vote. Please vote. Okay.
Can't shout it out.
And thank you, Carol, for all of your hard work.
Okay, correspondence. Didn't we do Christine White personal opinion last time? Or is this a different one?
That one I showed you, it was an opinion, it was a personal opinion, but it just came in last week.
Oh, that's right. Is it in here? Oh, okay. I have it. Okay, this is a letter to the Town of Newfane Select Board, and it is dated October 22nd. Dear Select Board members, I have a couple of thoughts on the meeting of October 19th, 2020. Both regard the anti-racism resolution. Number one, while I understand Mike Fitzpatrick's desire to make a statement regarding damaging or defacing town property, however, that is an issue already covered by law. You have the right and the duty to take action to protect taxpayer property. I would caution you about including verbiage in the statement that will lock you into legal actions, which you might, for whatever reason, choose to overlook because it would be too costly, too minor, etc. Second, I think it might be time to consider the role of the town when it comes to some things. You rightly pointed out that citizens are free to form groups of people who are interested or concerned about an issue. But I don't believe the board should in any way align with these groups. If and when they want to ask the town to take an action which is within the scope of Select Board responsibility, then and only then should the board get involved in the specific and limited request. Once you open that door, you might not be able to close it. Perhaps it would be a good idea to establish a simple policy when it comes to ad hoc committees and single issue groups. Sincerely, Christine White. And I would like to say in response that actually this was brought up and explained at one of our previous Zoom meetings, that if people are interested in forming committees about any subject whatsoever, they should feel free to do so and then come and request a presentation with the Select Board. And the Select Board can approve or disapprove your agenda, but it is not up to the Select Board to form our own meetings and groups. We are here to provide specific services to the town, and one of the services is to listen to people when they come here. But there's no guarantee about anything. It's all up for discussion as a whole group. And thank you, Christine, for your concerns and for writing this letter.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we are now finished with correspondence and we're moving into pay orders. So we say good night to you. Again, be safe, stay warm. It's been bitter cold these last few days. And please go and vote. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.